Just a real quick thank you to KNF Concept for sponsoring this video. As always, no money changed hands. All of my opinions are my own. More on them in a bit. So if you're anything like me, you've spent a lot of time scouring the internet, reading books, trying to figure out ways to improve your photography. In fact, that's probably why you clicked on this video right now. And as much as I understand doing that, because I have often fallen into what is quite honestly the trap of just consuming content to try and improve my photographic skill, I'm here to warn you and let you know that that is actually a trap. As what can end up happening is you will fall into just a cycle of never really feeling like you know enough and wanting to continually consume content over and over and over and over. That is not how actually improving your skills at photography works. Information is great, don't get me wrong, but information without practice and application is completely useless. Now, I've been on a kick lately of wanting to improve my own photography, but instead of falling down the rabbit holes of YouTube videos or photography books, which are all great things, don't get me wrong, what I've decided to do instead is go back, refresh the fundamentals of photography. So I've been going out and trying to actually put them into practical application. And you're probably thinking, okay, cool, but like, how does doing this a few times actually make a meaningful difference or a noticeable improvement in my photography? And that's just the kicker. Take your camera everywhere. And that is the number one way to learn multiple things. Number one, how good you actually are at photography in scenarios that differ from what you're used to normally shooting. Two, how many places you either do or don't go. I have found my own photographic skills improving just from the sheer challenge of taking the camera everywhere in my day-to-day life and looking for shots in places that I don't normally look for them, like, you know, when you're on a shopping run. It's been very interesting for me to go out and to experiment with finding good photos in places that I don't normally look for them. And then when I am presented with that challenge, I then have to go, okay, so how do my fundamentals work best in this situation? You know, where am I on my exposure triangle that works best for this situation, for the shot that I want to get? What's my composition going to look like? And is this situation something that I can even really feel like I can photograph? And if it's not, I often take the shot anyway, just so I can go back and look at it and break down what worked and what didn't, so that I can improve my overall general photography skill across a number of different scenarios and situations, rather than being just locked into pretty much solely landscape photography. All of this is great, but it's not necessarily something that I'm going to get from a YouTube video or a book. I may get ideas, but reading information does not directly translate into usable skill. You have to apply it first, and this is something that I've really been working on practicing. So if you're going to bring your camera with you everywhere, of course you're going to shoot all kinds of things, but there's still going to be the desire to find really good, interesting spots to shoot. And so how do you do that? I myself, for a long time, I've used things like maps, like Apple Maps or Google Maps, Google Earth. That is definitely an effective way of doing it, but it's not the easiest. One of the easiest, and dare I say, most rewarding ways of finding good places to shoot is a perfect way for me to tell you about this video sponsor, KNF Concept. They've come out with an app called BeenTo, which is spelled like this and is really fun to say because it's one of those things that the more you say it, the weirder it sounds. BeenTo has been an app that I've been using for the last couple of weeks or so, and it's a very, very interesting way of going out to find new places to shoot, because the entire premise of this app is that photographers like you and I can go out to take shots. And then the places that we find that are great photo spots that we enjoy, we can tag those places on a map and share those for other people to find, which is really, really interesting to me, because then I can go and I can find interesting places in my local area where other photographers have shot, and I can go to those places and see what I think, get my own shots, stuff like that, which has been a very interesting experience. However, what I have found to be the most rewarding is actually sharing my own favorite spots and locations in this app, because I love to be able to tell people about cool shots that I've gotten and give them tricks, tips, give them an idea of where the spot is. And this is a fantastic app for people like me who really like to do that. So this right here is BeenTo, and yes, while it does look like Instagram, it's a heck of a lot more than just a photo sharing app. Let me show you. So if I open the app and I go to the photo map, which I think is the main attraction, at least for me, the main thing that I'm excited about with this app, I can select my search radius here. So 10 kilometers, 20, 30, 50, 80, 100, and 500. I have it set to 500 right now. And it will show me places and tags in that area that I select where people have gone and taken photos. And this is a really, really cool idea because if I'm in a certain area, if I'm traveling to a certain place, or I'm like I live or I'm already in a particular area, like the Tacoma, Seattle area here, I can go and I can look at different places that people have shot photos. If I'm, wanting to plan kind of an adventure day to go take photos with friends or family or anything like that, being able to do this way is really fantastic, and it's fun for me to be able to get an idea of what a place is like before I go and shoot there. So on the photo map, if I zoom in here, you'll see most things are in purple. These are things that other people have put down. Like, for example, this one right here, Pike's Place Market. If I go to this post, it'll show me the photo that was taken. It's also showing me the location. If I tap it, it'll open it up in Google Maps, and I can get directions directly to that spot. I know where it's at already, but it will give me directions to that particular spot. And I can do this for any spot in the whole app, which is awesome. Now, if I go back to the map, you'll see things here in orange. These are what I have personally put in here. I've got 3 spots, one up near Gig Harbor, one over here at the Fireman's Lookout, one down here at Chambers Bay. And I've got another one further out here at the Packwood area around Mount Rainier National Park. So if I go in here, I'll just select this one, for example. This will take you, or me in this case, to the post that I made. Just this one particular photo. If I hit tips, it'll take me to the actual post, and there's multiple photos in here because these were all taken in around the same area on the same day. And in this post, I said, taken in the Packwood Forest in Packwood, Washington. ND filters recommended for the creek back here if you want long exposures. Polarizer is a godsend for deep forest shots if the sun is out, as light reflections on the leaves, on wet leaves, can be very distracting. If I hit the small tips button in the top right of the photo again, which one of the critiques that I have is it's hard to hit properly, then I've put in here the camera and lens combination that I used, the focal length, all the metadata from the raw image, the focal length, the aperture, the shutter speed, and the ISO. And each of these is going to be different depending on the image. Like, for example, this image of the stump that I showed a couple times in my last video, I believe it was. If I hit the tips, that one, wide open at f4, 165 millimeters, 1/60th of a second, shutter speed, ISO 500 with my R6 Mark II and Canon EF 70-200 f4. And with a little note here, polarizer 100% recommended for this shot, as light reflections off leaves were very strong without one. And if I'm interested in finding this exact location, I can just hit the map and it will take me to the Packwood area. Now, this isn't the exact location, as that was not a place that I had dropped a pin while I was out shooting, but this will get you close to that area, and you can explore around from there, which is really, really cool if you are scouting for cool photo locations and you want an easy way to find cool places where other people have shot before. The last thing I want to kind of point out in this app, if I go to home and I go to city spotlights, this is really neat. There aren't any cities that are activated in here for the United States yet, because once the number of posts with a city's geolocation reaches 150 and the contributors of these posts exceed 15, the city spotlights page will be activated. So nothing here in the US is active yet that I have seen, but I think it's really, really cool, and it gives me, at least personally, kind of a goal to help contribute to put the Tacoma, Seattle area, the area that I live in, on the map, so that people can get more use out of something like this if they're traveling here, like, you know, on vacation, to visit family, stuff like that, and they want to take a day or two and spend some time exploring around for photography. This is really, really cool. If I'm traveling to any of these places, which I'm not, like, in the near future, but there's definitely places in here I would like to go, it is helpful to be able to come into the city spotlights and select any of them and get an idea of what people have been shooting, what kind of cool things there are to take pictures of in that particular area, the locations that they're in, and it's very, very helpful to be able to plan. If I wanted to plan specifically a photography trip to a particular city in the world, being able to do it this way rather than dive through like 56 tabs on Google is very, very handy. The UI feels a little bit clunky, particularly when you are trying to make a post. The buttons are a little bit too small, they're easy to miss, they're not easy to it just doesn't necessarily feel very easy to navigate because it's hard to miss stuff. Back when I was making this particular post right here, I got 90% of the way through the post. I hit a wrong button and went back to the post upload page, and the entire post that I had just spent 20 minutes typing out the entire detail set for just disappeared, and I had to do it all over again. So that's frustrating. I think there needs to be a little bit of refinement on the UI so that it feels like less cluttered, less clunky, and easier to make posts. Also, an autosave feature when you're making posts that automatically saves it to drafts would be fantastic. I think that is something that's very important that should definitely be added as soon as possible, because getting most of the way through a post and then accidentally hitting something and having your entire post disappear and having it not be in drafts is incredibly frustrating. Honestly, I think this app that they've come out with, it needs a little bit of work, it needs a little bit of optimization, it needs, frankly, like a better user experience, but the idea is there, and I really, really like what is being brought forth. And I think the more people that we can get onto this thing, the more helpful it would be to the general photography community at large, which is why I wanted to make a video not only discussing ways of improving your photography by shooting all the time, but also I feel that this integration would work perfectly for that. The two of them go hand in hand, and I hope that this video as a whole has been helpful for you and for anyone else in the photography community that may watch this in the future. I think that there's definitely some real value with this. Not everything is perfect, but the value is definitely there, and I'm excited personally to see more tools like this being put out on the market for photographers. It just goes to show that photography as an art form, or as I like to think of it, an exploration form on top of that, is definitely not dead, and it's not going to die anytime soon. And that's really comforting, not only for me, but everyone else on the internet now who is in this particular vein of creative pursuit. There will be information down below in the description if you want to sign up. I've got a special invite code that'll get you some fun things if you use it. So information for all of that stuff is down below in the description. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more things like this, you want to see me exploring more places, doing more photography, you want to get a load of my first impressions and thoughts on the 5D Mark IV coming up soon, then like, subscribe, do all the things all the popular YouTubers tell you to do, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.